Hey there! Have you been feeling beat down by life? Energy all over the place? No matter what you do, it's never, ever good enough? Do you value perfection over effort? Guess what?
You're not you're not alone.
You are not alone. Join
Oh
us
my gosh.
today as we chat about our fourth and final agreement. Always do your best. What does that even mean? How do we start? And why is it important? Welcome to Be Here Now,
Good
the
question.
Peaceful Empowerment Work Show. We are live on newstreamingnetwork.com TV, podcast, and WGSN-DB Going Solo Radio. If you enjoy our content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to help us get our message out there. I am your co-host, Judy Forder, and I am here with my co-host in peace, Miss
Janice Leonard. Hi, everybody. So, thanks so much for sharing your time with us. Hope that you get as much out of it as we do. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Judy and I do this because we love it and we want to put it out there and hopefully help others as well as this helps ourselves. We are a nonprofit, yeah. So you can make donations and you can write off in your taxes, and we appreciate any support you're able to provide us, whether it's liking us or donating. And if you want to donate, you can go to our website, www.peacefulempowermentworks.org. There's a donate button at the top and there's a donate button at the bottom, and there you go. We appreciate anything you can do. Last week, Wendy DiCarlo won the cards, the 4 agreement cards. Thank you, Wendy. And I don't have a gift yet for this week, but I've got till the end of the show to figure it out. I want it to be special. Actually, I'll take any suggestions too. By the way, feel free. Feel free to jump in. What? I'm sorry. What?
I said, you kicked that door wide open. Uh-oh.
I get to filter out.
There you go. You get final say.
Yeah.
All right, Janice, you want to ring us in?
Oh, yes.
All right, everybody. Feel your bottom in your seat. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth.
I'm feeling a little lightheaded after that one today. Wait, what did I win?
What did I win?
You won the cards. You should get them probably today or tomorrow. The 4 agreement cards. I love them.
And Wendy won again today. Wendy, you can have some input on what your gift is, apparently.
First commenter wins. Okay.
All right. Miss Janice, what is our weekly affirmation?
Our weekly affirmation. And remember, we are at the end of the 4 agreements. So, I am impeccable with my word. I don't take anything personally. I don't make assumptions. I always do my best. I look forward to talking about the last one today. That one's really speaking to me.
Yeah, we've done a lot of chatting about that in the pregame. So, yes. Declare to the universe, I am impeccable with my words. I don't take anything personally. I don't make assumptions. And I always do my best. Repetition. It's funny. Janice has a thing that she says prior to every show. And she actually said it verbally this week. So I heard her. And repetition is I keep hearing push this point right now. Repetition is key. Because it takes repetition for us to rewrite the story that we already have in our head. It takes repetition for us to create a new healthy pattern. So I also...
It's like I
Go
can
ahead.
see the little energy rods in your brain, and it's always gone there. It's always gone there. It's always gone there, and now it's going to try to go there. So it does. Then you can make it flow. So it's got to
Yeah.
be.
Takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of practice and repetition. And the more fun you can have with it, the less repetition it takes. Because when we can learn and speak in that vibration of openness, grace, love, support, there's less resistance to a new pattern. There's less resistance to a new way of thinking. Because we don't feel like we're in fight or flight and have to stay in that comfort zone. So that's a perfect visual, Janice. I love it. I love it. Just because it's not easy doesn't mean it's not good for you.
No, usually often it's the contrary.
Exactly. All right. So previously on Be Here Now, we have, of course, done the book club thing this is our 4th week, as Janice said. It is our last day for The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. The book is based on the study of ancient Toltec wisdom, and Ruiz combines traditional knowledge with modern insights to promote personal transformation. So his teachings, I love them so much because they're very common sense based principles, and they speak easy, but it doesn't mean that the process itself is easy. What do we say? It's simple but not easy. Because of the whole repetition thing, because of the fact that we are creating new nerve connections, neurological connections. So that's why the common sense principles speak so loudly to me. And he's got a pretty wide audience, so I'm not the only one.
That's right. He's been a bestseller for like 10 years or something.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah. So it's been a long time. And we have found using these principles, again, it is something that we read years ago and we have been brought back to it. I know me in the past year, I've had it sitting on my desk with me. So that's why Janice and I thought, hey, let's do this book club thing and share it with the people even more.
Share the wisdom.
Share the wisdom. So, Janice, how can the 4 agreements transform your life?
Well, I like one of the things he says is, oh, it will, it always. And it will help you too. And it will make you more likely to and will bring you there as much as often as you are able to have a shift in your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Greater self-awareness and personal freedom. Emotional healing. You can heal emotional wounds and reduce suffering. Improve relationships. It can help with communication, enhance professional relationships as well as personal. Life fulfillment. It can lead to a more authentic and fulfilling life aligned with your true self.
Yes. Yes. Now, in the weeks that we've been doing this, going through these, have you noticed any of these things in you?
Oh, let's say in theory, oh, I know this stuff. It's logical.
Mm-hmm.
But what I didn't do is have it up here. Make it in my awareness thing. So I would definitely feel this time, especially because last time I think it intimidated me because it spoke to me, but I wasn't ready,
Right.
But it reinforces some things that I know. Like I'm a big communications person, so that's a biggie, and it brings to my up here other things that I do know, but let's spend a week thinking about it like we did, and it really helped. Yeah, definitely shifted my awareness of relationship communications and all of that. Yeah.
And I think you made an excellent. You read the book before, but you weren't ready for it.
Yeah.
Outstanding point. Because yes, I read it years ago, but got so much more out of it now because, I guess I was ready to a point.
Yeah. the first layer of the onion.
Yes, exactly. And coming back and reading it again, definitely got deeper insights because, because we've been working on ourselves and focusing on being aware of what it is that's coming up instead of, I know for me, I would shy away from it. This brings up emotions that I don't like. So we're just going to, race right over those words and move on to something else where I can feel comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas now I'm like, okay, let's dig in. We're not going to look away. We're not going to shy away.
Yeah.
If it comes up, it's time for us to deal.
Even the spiritual aspects. I definitely 10 years ago, whenever I first looked at this, the way he was talking about God and all that part, I was not ready to hear it, accept it. Where now I think I'm more in alignment with there's a higher power, whoever you look at it, your angels, your guardians, a God, a divine being, a goddess, whatever it is, I'm more open to believing it. And so it definitely took me to a different place reading it this time.
Excellent. Excellent. I could not agree with you more, Janice. Okay, so we're going to do a quick review of the first 3 agreements. The first one being be impeccable with your word, speak with integrity, say only what you mean, avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. And yes, it's interesting because that being the first agreement, that's fresh in your mind. So as the next ones come along and you find yourself not being impeccable with your word because maybe you did take something personally and then you beat yourself up, it's like, I feel like that one is almost the bodyguard.
Yeah.
The bouncer at the club.
Like, the building block. There you go. Yep.
So yes, that one, I'm sure, the dude had some insight making this the first one. Durr.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Janice, you want to cover our second agreement?
Oh, yeah. Don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. They do it because of themselves. They do it because of their beliefs and biases.
Mm.
When you're immune to the opinion of others, you don't end up being the victim of suffering and needless suffering because, that's their problem. Well, I don't mean to say it quite that bluntly, but, that's if they're thinking badly about you or they're thinking badly, that's about them in their world. It's not about me and my world. You don't have to make it part of you in your world. And I like that.
Yeah. Something that kept ringing through after we went through this one is, not everybody, because of the filters that they see through, because of the experiences that they've had and everything, they're not always going to see where your intention lies. So as long as you know that what you're doing is heart guided, you're doing it from a place of love, then you can seek solace in that.
Mm-hmm. I always thought that I tried to do the right thing. I went through quite a few years. I was like, just do the right thing. And I really believe that you just keep doing the right thing. Eventually, they're going to see who you really are because they're going to drop all their, well, in theory, they're going to drop their guards and they're going to be able to see who you are because eventually they're not going to be so threatened or feeling the need to change you.
Yeah, I know that it's continue to do the right thing. And what shifted with me was the right thing in my head was whatever it was I needed to do to make them happy so that they would like me and accept me.
Oh,
so the
boy.
way has definitely shifted to doing what I do guided by love. And if they don't accept it that way, that's not on me. It means that they're not open to receiving that action of love. And for whatever reason, it's okay because it's not about me. And that has really helped. It does, I am not perfect in any way, shape, or form. I still take things personally and have to work through. But that was something that really helped kick me over that fence of, okay, everything really isn't about me.
Yep. Absolutely.
All right. Moving on to our third agreement. Don't make assumptions. Find the courage to ask questions and to express what you really want. Communicate with others as clearly as you can to avoid misunderstandings, sadness, and drama. With just this one agreement, you can completely transform your life. Now, it's funny because we've talked about me being curious and asking questions and communicating clearly what you want. That was a hiccup for me. That was always a hiccup for me because who was I to state what I wanted? It was my job to be that people pleaser and make everybody else happy. And then once everybody else is happy, maybe I can get what I want and what I need. So making the assumptions that people are acting out against me or thinking this way about me, or I put this out there and I'm worried that maybe they took it the wrong way. Yeah, I had to find the courage to ask the questions so that there wasn't a misunderstanding, because the misunderstandings allow my monkey brain to just mind fuck myself from one way to another.
Yeah, I tell you, this reminded me just of my relationship with my husband. Because, when you first get married, you're all trying to please each other, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to the point where you know that about me. Why are you doing this? You know that you should be doing this. You should, the shoulds. And that's a big hill to get over, I think, in a relationship. Because and I'd like to think we're mostly over it. But even just like a couple weeks ago, and now we're getting older. We've been married 36 years, and he went to the store and I just said, "Oh, I want a bag of chips." Ruffles. I have this thing about the Regis. So he comes back and he has Ruffles, but he has sour cream and onion. I like cheddar and sour cream. I can't help it. I was like, how do you not know the type of chip that I like? I did assume he would know. But now we're going on the other side where we're starting to forget things. So we have to be loving and patient again. Oh my gosh.
I'm making no assumptions.
Yeah, I learned early that you had to ask what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. But my thing is I'd ask what I want, and then if they loved me, they'd do it. And if they didn't, they wouldn't. So it's interesting how you can still ask what you want, but then that was going to be a sign of whether or not they loved you.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Woo, that's nothing heavy about that, Janice.
Nothing at all.
Yeah. I've thought a lot about the whole making an ass out of you and me. And there have been, because I feel like the energy's all over the place and people are feeling very chaotic right now. So it's very easy to A, take things personally, and B, make assumptions. So, divine timing, of course, it couldn't be any more perfect that we're going through the 4 agreements right now when things are so chaotic, and having it so forward in our mind that if we don't understand, it's okay to ask for clarity. It's okay to ask the questions. And what I'm finding is a lot of times the questions are coming and the person that you're asking the question to doesn't even know themselves. So it gives them the opportunity to go within and find out and really clarify where they are for the topic as well.
Yeah, especially when it's not an intimate relationship. You're not going to know where they're coming from. You're not going to know their agendas. Sometimes when I'm surprised at what someone says, I say, okay, so I think what you're saying to me is you want me to blah, 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 because what?
Yeah. Yeah. There's communication is key. And when we can speak from that place of non-judgment for ourselves and for the people that we're working with, it changes the whole energy of the interaction because people feel safe. And when you feel safe, you're able to access the answers within you. So I won't get defensive if Janice asks me a question because I know that Janice isn't going to judge my answer. I won't take it personally. Like, why is she even asking that? She should know better. None of that, because when we feel safe, we don't take things personally. We're not afraid to ask questions. And being impeccable with our word, we're able to speak more from that heart space, from that space of love. And love doesn't speak in terms that are demeaning or shaming or blaming.
Yeah.
So, I love that you kept pointing to your head. When you can take these concepts from the head and drop them in the heart and integrate them and make them your new pattern, your new habit. I have a habit of loving myself. Woo! How does that feel?
Very empowering.
Uh-huh. So, yes. I don't know how that came from Don't Make Assumptions, but no.
Maybe someone needed to hear it. Someone needed to hear it.
All right. We have a couple slides about assuming, but we're running kind of long. So, Severia, let's just skip through them and we can go to the last third agreement slide. And we'll leave them with this word before we break for commercial. The day you stop making assumptions, you will communicate clearly, free of emotional poison. Sorry, let's do that again. That was not clear. The day you stop making assumptions, you will communicate cleanly and clearly, free of emotional poison. You won't need to make assumptions because everything becomes so clear. This is what I want. This is what you want. Clean and simple. Not always easy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. On that note, we're going to take a commercial break and we'll be back. Hello and welcome back to Be Here Now. We are talking about the 4 agreements. It is the final day of our book club, and today is, of course, the 4th agreement. And Janice has a lot to share with us about this 4th agreement, apparently. I can't wait to hear. It's always do your best. Your best
Okay.
change from moment to moment. It will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick. Under any circumstance, simply do your best, and you will avoid self-judgment, self-abuse, and regret.
Yes. Well, I have 5 cards, 5 of these cards. I picked out 5 of them that I hope to touch base on when I've talked today. One of them feels like it needs to be later, but I feel the strongest about, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that one up first.
Okay.
This card, and if you remember reading it, is love and nurture your body. I'm telling you, I have never loved and nurtured my body. And the fact that I haven't has caused me health issues. It made me gain weight because I just never could look at my body because I was too ashamed, too embarrassed. And so I found a way to get by without thinking about my body.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look at yourself in the mirror. I was never, and that definitely, my ability to do that has caused problems with my health and with my journey to love my body. At my highest, I probably weighed 150 pounds more than I do now. So this is what I'm talking about. I definitely, to live with that body. I mean, I didn't always. That was probably a year or whatever at that weight. But to live with yourself, and to function, it was really had to not be my body, and I had to try harder to be my personality. Because I know when I was younger, I was like more hey and taking care of people. You could get, I would believe that in a day that you could get anyone to like you if you just take care of them.
Right.
So that's what I did. So this is so true. And so the back of this card, it says, your own body is a manifestation of God.
Mm.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, I started believing in God or this higher being the moment I birthed my child.
Mm.
Because there was how could this set of neurons and, this nervous system, how could this possibly happen?
Yeah.
It starts as this little egg inside him. I just, it is a manifestation of God. If you honor your body, everything will change for you.
Mm.
Practice giving love to every part of your body. This will plant seeds of love in your mind.
Mm.
And doing the opposite definitely planted seeds of hate, of my self-hate in my mind, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And when they grow, you will love, honor, and respect your body immensely. So this plant, okay, I skipped part of that. This will plant seeds of love in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And when they grow, you will love, honor, and respect your body immensely. You know, every stage of life, I just have not ever loved my body.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably abused my body. Yeah, I abused my body. And I've done all kinds of things to lose weight, which involves abusing my body.
Yep.
I've had the surgeries, I've done the everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I have lost weight. And I definitely don't have to live in self-hate anymore. But it's not like, oh, I love my body, because I can't, that is a core belief in me. So this is so big to me. I mean, there's lots of parts about doing your best that are important. But yeah, love your body, because now I'm older, and the abuse I've given my body, it's going to affect me now.
Mm-hmm.
The high blood pressure and the damage of my body, it's going to come out. And so don't ignore your body. Love it. Take care of it.
Here, when you're working to shift that, it's a core belief. And when we say it's a core belief, it means it's in every single cell in your body. Our cells hold memory. So it's in that cell memory. That's why repetition is so key, because we have to, it looks like sludge to me. When I look into my body and look into my cells, anything that is detrimental, those old outdated beliefs, that self-loathing, I was told at 8 that I was fat, which to me meant I was broken, and I've hated my body ever since. So same thing, Janice, I can totally relate. And
Mm.
speaking that love into every single cell of your body is going to respond. So those things that we struggle with physically, the high blood pressure and all those things like that, when we flood our cells and our body and the muscles, the organs, all of that with the words of love, gratitude, appreciation, it gives those cells the ability and permission to work as they are meant to work, because we've taken the crap out of the way that prevented them from working properly in the first place. I did a show on Journeys with Judy years ago, where a vision had come to me of like a plastic container of a body, and 3/4 of it was filled with just black sludge, and the rest was filled with this beautiful white light. And every time we're able to reprogram an old outdated belief, sludge would leak out. So we would have more white light than we would black sludge. So the goal is to clean out as much of that sludge as we can. And once we get to the point where we have 51% worth of light in our bodies, it becomes a habit. Our pattern has shifted for the positive. So it's been a really good visual for me to have over the years of seeing that. And every time I'm able to catch a thought that's beating me up or an old pattern, then I picture that sludge leaving my body. So I was
That's
guided
great.
to share. Hopefully it's a good visual that can help, you all. It's something that I use frequently. And speaking love into your body has really been front of mind with the be impeccable with your word. That has really helped me, holding me
Yeah.
accountable for what I'm saying about me. For the longest time, I just went silent. I didn't beat my body up anymore. I didn't shame myself, but I didn't say anything loving, encouraging, and expressing gratitude. And with this be impeccable with your word, I've definitely had much more awareness about that. So, yeah.
Which reminds me of another one, the card that came up that I talked to you about earlier, which is a great transition from the weight topic, which is surrender and let go of your past. That's part of this one.
Yes.
Whatever life takes away from you, let it go. When you surrender and let go of the past, you allow yourself to be fully alive in the moment. Letting go of the past means that you can enjoy the dream that is happening right now. That one, all hand in hand. I have these patterns from the past that have served a purpose. There was a time it served a purpose, but I've outgrown those purposes, and it's time to let go.
Yeah, we don't choose to live in survival mode anymore, so we don't need those patterns. And that's the big, and when you've grown up living in survival mode, you don't know what anything else feels like, so it's scary. And with the awareness comes the fact that, it's a choice. We can still be afraid and move forward. We don't have to be afraid and fall back into the old pattern. We have a choice because we've experienced what different feels like. I know for me, I experienced what that different hope felt like, and I wanted more of that. I want to feel more of this, less of that. We don't deny that. We move through those things fluidly. We don't put them on a shelf and try to hide from them, because that's not how this work works. Work works. We are here to experience all of the emotions. We are here to love and be loved. So, yes, it's time to let go of the old heavy baggage. If it feels heavy, if it feels dark, it's not meant for you anymore. It's not meant for you anymore.
I have this phrase, I can, for some reason, for the past few weeks, has kind of let me let go of stuff, because I was just saying, I can do it. I can make it. I can. And so so now I'm thinking, I can let go of that old message, of those old messages about my body.
That's
I can.
That's very powerful. Okay, so why always do your best, no more, no less? Sounds easy, right? And why is it so important? And this fourth agreement is the one that allows the other three to become deeply ingrained habits. The fourth agreement is about the action of the first three. Always do your best. But keep in mind, your best, like we said earlier, is never going to be the same. It's going to change from minute to minute, day to day. And, your best, I feel like my best just keeps getting better and better with the more grace I give myself. So that pressure to be perfect is dissipating. Because when I can, it's dissipating, because it's not about the end result. It's not about your end destination. It's about the journey. Same thing here.
Oh, absolutely. I can.
Yes, I can. Exactly. And when we overdo, you deplete your body and go against yourself. And if we take, it will take you longer to accomplish the goal. When I see that, I see people, like I'm chasing a kid chasing a balloon, that when you almost grab it, but you kick it instead. So that goal, you're running up on that goal, but you kick it and you kick it further out. You're getting in your own way. If you do less than your best, you subject yourself to frustration, self-judgment, guilt, and regrets. So if you overdo, you're depleting your body and going against yourself, and it takes you longer to accomplish your goal. If you do less than your best, you're subjecting yourself to frustration, self-judgment, guilt, and regrets.
Mm.
And
That just reminds me of the simple, the cup half full. It's just, you have to take care of yourself before you take care of others. I mean, that's all part of this, because you giving and the glass ends up being half empty, and it empties. So you got to keep it full.
Yeah, it's that balance, that delicate balance.
Yeah.
And the energy that we're in right now, there was a time where we did have to push to get things accomplished, and we had to force, and we had to figure. We don't have to do that in the energy that we're in anymore. The energy is very supportive of whatever it is we want, as long as we align with what it is we desire and sit back and allow it to come to us. It will come. It doesn't mean we don't take action, because there are action steps that have to come too, but we don't try to figure things out. We allow ourselves to be guided by our hearts, by what is right and perfect for you. What is the next right and perfect step for you? Pushing, forcing, you're just pushing whatever it is you want further and further away. That's why I think it's great that they make the point that this is crucial for the other 3 agreements. Because when you're giving yourself that grace to declare that I've done my very best today. Was it as good as what I did yesterday? I had more energy yesterday. Today I'm not feeling so great. But I showed up and I did the very best I could.
Yeah, I just hang on to my failures, instead of thinking that I've done the best I can. That's something I need to work on.
Well, what I'm hearing is failure, and yes, it's been said millions of times, but failure doesn't even have a place in your verbiage. It shouldn't hold space in your verbiage, because you're always learning. And if we're so focused on the end result, that's where that perfection comes in. Because I either did it to perfection or I failed.
I love the work we do, because that's one of the biggest lessons that I learned, and I'm still learning, which is it's not good or bad or perfect or failure. It's about just trying every day, and it's the process, and it's okay. That's so freeing.
Yeah, it really is. It gives yourself permission to exhale, is what I heard, because we spend so much time all knotted up and tight and worried and stressed, that when you just allow yourself to breathe and relax into it, not pressure yourself to be perfect, give yourself that grace. I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm evolving.
There's another card. If I get one more in, I would like to, because this one is express your own divinity. That's part of what he's saying in this chapter. You don't need the acceptance of others. You don't need knowledge or great philosophical concepts. You have the right to be you, and you express your own divinity by being alive and by loving yourself and others. Goosebumps.
Yes.
Ooh, it's just being.
Yes, finding joy in your beingness. And we cannot stress enough, this is going to take repetition. Practice. Practice makes the master. Okay? Practice makes the master. And when we give ourselves the grace and we allow ourselves to understand and be patient with ourselves, we can fully embrace the fact that practice makes the master. So when we go to that place where we want to beat ourselves up, or we want to throw that failure term around, let's remind ourselves that practice makes the master. There is no failure. There's only opportunities for growth and learning. Oy vey. Now, there's a lot of other things he talks about in the book after this fourth agreement that I found very beneficial, that I didn't do any slides on or anything like that. But one thing I wanted to bring up that I can't seem to let this visual go is if we start feeling or picturing these old outdated beliefs and patterns as parasites.
Oh, I like them as sludge.
Yeah, is he like sludge?
Yeah.
It's funny. There's all this stuff on social media about parasites. A parasite, because a parasite, you know, it sucks from life from the host and doesn't add any value. Yeah. And that's what these old outdated beliefs are doing. That's what these old patterns are doing. They're sucking the life out of you and not adding anything to you. So when you're working and practicing and, you know, doing that repetition over and over and over again, we're literally squeezing the life out of these parasites. They will no longer be able to live in that environment of love, grace, kindness, respect. And I found that very helpful for me to think about that. Because when I can think about that, you know, mean Judy going to town, you know, that's just a parasite. And the best way to squeeze the life out of that parasite is to love it. Not hate it, but love it. So, I mean, it can sound weird to some people out there, but I found it helpful for me. And he gets into it more in the book, but that was a very helpful visual for me. And I thought I'd share.
Yeah. They can't stay attached when you're filled with love.
Exactly. They can't live in that environment. So if you've enjoyed our travel through the 4 agreements, you can check out Don Miguel Ruiz's website where he has courses. And I understand reading his website yesterday that he just went through his second heart surgery or heart transplant. So he's not doing live events anymore, but he and his family are still teaching courses and things like that.
Wow.
He has other books as well. So if you want to find out more about what he has to offer, feel free to go to his website, www.miguelruiz.com. This has been a great journey, Janice. I feel like I know that I've learned an awful lot again.
Me too.
Yeah.
And I did feel like they built on each other.
Absolutely.
You know, I like that.
Absolutely. So it's time for us to wrap it up. We want to thank you for choosing to be a part of our very first book club and choosing to be here now. Please always remember,
you are not alone.
And don't ever forget, you are awesome. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
And if you have any ideas or comments or suggestions for anything in the future, please write it in the comments.
Awesome. Thank you, Janice. Thank you, Silveria.
Bye, everybody.